And I'm going to turn this over to Mr. Abraham.
You're absolutely right.
Everybody seated? Well, it's a great pleasure being here. Today I found out what tin can meant. But anyway, I'm proud of all you guys that serve in our country. Lately, Japan came out with a statement criticizing the United States. They said we mistreated Iraqi soldiers, and they are going to take it up with Geneva, protesting it. Of all the countries in the world, Japan, that's the only country squawked about it. There's 43% of our boys in the Philippines can come back compared to Germany. Let them squawk all they want. Thank God my book's over in Japan. I hope they read it. Well, today my speech will be on Bataan, the death march. Bataan is a peninsula. Once we got in there, we couldn't even get out of there. Our troops was ill-mannered. Most of them was Filipino soldiers. They said, you're in the army, and that's what we had. A lot of them didn't even have any rifles, didn't have shoes, no helmets. I was the only infantry regiment over there, the 31st United States Infantry, and our rifle was wiped out in Bataan there. Well, most of the men in Bataan, I'd say about 85% had malaria and dysentery. In fact, we didn't have no more food left. We was feeding something like 100,000. That's American Filipinos and about 30,000 civilians. So John King decided to surrender. At the surrender, they lined us up. 100 in a group. They marched us in the heat. We passed many flowing wells. You couldn't break rank. You ever broke rank, you was a dead man. Nice seeing so many of our boys go down like that. We passed many towns. The men, after the third day, they were staggering like drunken men. They couldn't keep up. Actually, the starvation of Bataan hurried our deaths because we were so weak on the death march. There's one soldier, he fell in a hole. The Japanese came up there. They told two soldiers, bury him. They refused. Because that soldier's still alive. So the whole three ended up getting shot. It's a Major Benetti. I said we could get his head cracked open. He made the camp. Then Japanese said he died with malaria. 2 years later, when I disinterred the body, I seen a crack in his head. I'm trying to pick out the best one here. We had one soldier, he was crazy with thirst. He jumped over the bank and into the filthy water. When he rose his head up, Japanese cut his head off. You gotta forgive me, I got the wheel in my chest, I got asthma there. There's a major, so many miles the Japanese searched us. They took our rings, pens, and everything off us. And they found a comb on one major. They took him aside and they shot him. They said he got the comb from a dead Japanese soldier. But wasn't true, because in Manila you can buy all the combs you want, you know. Then Colonel Underback was stabbed in the back. He wasn't moving fast enough. Then turned around, he tried to get up. Then he shot him. It's all along the route, like all on both sides of the road, you see dead soldiers, so forth. Some of the men, this first time been told, because the death march was told by so many, but they actually can't tell you what really happened. Same way as Bataan was falling, 3,000 got to Craigor. Craigor had 4,000 men. Fort Drum had about 300. The hospital had 4,000. One group, 75, was Japanese picked them driving trucks. And there's 300 was picked to pick the war materials on Bataan. Today, every one of them said they was on Bataan. They was not on Bataan, believe me. Bataan forces, when we hit O'Donnell, was 6,000. Within 6 months, over 5,000 of them already died. Some men we picked up on a death march is Douglas Rowland, a fellow by the name of Johnson, a good friend of mine in golf, he died. Joe Smith tried to get up, went down, Japanese chopped his head off, and all Crooney. Then Colonel Resline, he was so weak, he started crawling towards a house. We yelled, "They'll kill you, Colonel." He said, "I'm taking my chance." As he got near the house, he took his chance. Japanese took his head off. It's all over that route. They keep on doing that there. Then Lieutenant Hayes, a friend of mine, right in front of me, fell down. I tried to pick him up. They shoved me away. His head went off. And I seen Captain Reed. He said the sugar cane. He was so thirsty, he wanted a little sugar cane, give him a little energy. Notice he hit the sugar cane pill, bang. He was dead. The crippled vets, the crippled cocks. Japanese won't allow you to stop to urinate to defecate. Well, these two guys got the side of the road to urinate. Japanese shot them for no reason at all. I guess the Japanese didn't need any thing. The Japanese tried to take the ring off of Lieutenant Parkins. He refused it. Japs tried to grab it again. Perkins shot him aside. Japanese got the ring after he killed Lieutenant Perkins. There's a Colonel Ball. He was a good soldier. He had a fountain pen. Japanese tried to grab it. Colonel Ball backed away. Jap struck him with a rifle butt in the face. His blood started running down his chin. Japanese got the pen. I can't understand some of these officers. This one captain had a pistol on him, a caliber 45. Japanese didn't like it. They took him to the side of the road. They shot him. Not a buddy of mine, Lieutenant McAvane, he stumbled. He's right in front of me. He stumbled, tried to get up, couldn't get up, fell down again. Japanese took his head off. Lieutenant Holden, he had a bad case of dysentery. He went to the side of the road to defecate. Japanese banged him right in the back. Now as we walked by, we heard a cry in pain. We knew what happened there. Well, there's one soldier was struck in the face with a rifle butt, but he just turned at the Japanese and said nothing. Blood running out of his mouth. He spit out some teeth. He looked at the Japanese. He said, he called me SOB. Good thing the Japanese didn't understand English. The Japanese who walked over to Colonel Ball, he slapped him across the face. They said, move the men faster. You couldn't move any faster. The man already was staggering and all that. He struck Curlball on the face, and Curlball picked up his pace a little. The men cried, for God's sakes, Colonel, slow it down. We can't keep up. And Curlball slowed down. Good thing Japanese didn't come back again. And one of the men had a fan. Imagine that, you go, it said right in the made in China. Japanese said it was made in Japan, and they shot him. As I said, they need any excuse there. I got that done. It was a sickening feeling seeing men with open sores, maggots going in and out. You can do nothing about it. Somebody's body is on the side of the road, maybe 4 or 5 days. It's very sickening. Men are going to the latrine, like a lot of time, they try to get on the side of the road. Japanese won't do it. Like I said, do it in their pants here. Don't try to get the asthma like I got it here. Well, after 6 days of marching, staggering, we end up in San Fernando. They put us in boxcars. The temperature that day was 104 and heat. The boxcars are made of steel. Men with dysentery, death came all over the place. And men started screaming, give us air, give us air. If a man died, he couldn't fall down. We were so packed tight in there, he couldn't fall down. Well, after we hit the, after we got out, we arrived at the town of Capas, then we had to march 8 more miles to Cabana to Camp O'Donnell. That was a hell of a place there. The roof was leaking, had a lot of bed bugs, bamboo slats, it cut right into your backs. Then our men started developed malaria, which Long did have it from Bataan. We started losing 20, 30, 40 a day from dysentery malaria. Our colonel asked the Japanese for more medication. Wouldn't give us none. Asked for food. Time you ask for food, you get slapped in the face, sir. Then after losing 1,500 of our boys at Camp O'Donnell, we went to Cabana 1. And that was a hellhole. We had to work the farm. The men couldn't keep up digging graves. Everything we did it wrong. They would get us 2 o'clock in the morning. They said, you're sleeping on the wrong side. We're supposed to sleep this way. So one morning they got us up at 2 in the morning, lined us up. We waited an hour in line. Nothing happened. What they did after we lined up, Japanese went to bed. Here we stand up like a bunch of idiots up there. Well, anyway, we lost so many men as I said, O'Donnell. And after 2 months, they moved us to Cabana 1. And that was it's a rough place there. Then a lot of men started praying. One guy says, God, make me well. He said, I'll pray and pray. I'll read the Bible. The priest heard that. He said, son, keep on praying. God don't make no deals. Yeah, that one day, see, our job in camp, we had to stop the men from escaping. If one man escaped, they shot 9 men. So they turned around and they said we had to place guard, so this Captain Walsh went up Weinstein. He's get Abraham. Well, the reason they got me, I had over 9 years already in the infantry. Did a lot of guard duties. So first day on guard duty, 3 officers tried to escape to the ditch. Japanese shoved the officers aside. They slapped this guard. They took the 3 officers, the line, tied them up for 2 days outside the town of Kabul. 3rd day, they shot the whole 3. I can even name the officers: Lieutenant Briggs, Lieutenant Colonel Howard, Lieutenant Elliott. So one day we had 1 man missing. Everybody, jury, especially 9 men. They said, oh my God, we're gonna die. But they found the man by the latrine. What happened, he would make 15, 20 trips a day, back and forth latrine. He said, hell with it. So he slept by the latrine, he didn't have far to go. Then we had a lot of men, they started shipping our men to Japan, Manchuria, Korea. One of the ships I was supposed to be on, it was sunk. 1,700 men went down. Good thing I had my wheezing started up, probably have to save my life. There's one soldier with malaria close to the fence. He had malaria, I don't know what he's doing. Yeah, but they shot him. And there's 5 men crawled through the fence with near town buying food. They were headed back to camp. I know they were trying to get back, and the Japanese said they were trying to escape. They bumped them off. Just like they did it. 6 of our boys was trading through the fence with Filipinos for food. Japanese lined them all up, shot the whole 6. And I have the names here. Not the thing they used to do for punishment. You hold a rock over your head like this. Once you load your arm, it's bye-bye. Now when they had a water treatment, they tie your hands and legs to the ground. They fill you up with water. When your stomach fills up like that, they jump on your stomach. I'm not going to tell you what happened. Then we have what they call a wet berry. Your stomach fills up out large. Painful, affects your heart. Then you got another one called dry berry. It swells up, your foot swells up like the size of a football. Pus starts oozing out. It's very painful. Guys sit up all night, rubbing their feet. Still yet the grays, we kept on taking grays right ahead. By then we started losing 30, 40, 50 a day. See, the Japanese would give us no food, no medicine. Red Cross did come in with some supplies, but Japs took what they wanted. We didn't get nothing. That's a cruelty, I guess. I told you about the farm detail. The grass was that high, we had to chop it down, try to make a garden. Then we had one man, Jap, called air raid. A pick handle, it was called a vital stick. If you ever straighten up your back, let you have it. Same way men working on the airfield. A lot of men try to commit suicide. They big guys, their buddies break their arms, so forth, see. So while we was in camp, I was talking with Colonel Dufford. about the incident, which I wrote down in my book. But a tank going by on a march ran over this one fellow. Another tank followed suit, smashed him like a pancake, and then trucks would turn around and jam right into him. They didn't care. That's what I told Colonel Dufford, which I will, if I live, I'm going to bring out of the trial of Jamahoma. Some of our men were shipped on different details. Died there. Tiabas, 87, died. Compass Bridge, 17. Bill Bit, 150. They were down all over, and Japanese used to scatter the bodies all around so nobody knew nothing about it. Then we had this White Angel. He's a man, he broke more arms, legs at the airfield. In fact, he took a cap in the back and shot him in the head for no reason at all. For years and years, we dreamt of planes. 2 years in a prison camp, that's like 25 years of misery. So one day, we heard humming sounds. We looked skyways. The planes, the sky was full of planes. It was our Navy planes. At that time, they were bombing, knocking out airfield, so forth. There were people, and they were going to go into Lady. So for 1 month, we didn't see no more planes. Then finally, we heard a boom, 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 shelling the guy in Gulf. Japanese took off. So we went on our side. We stole our rice, chicken, ducks, anything could move. We had the first good meal in 3 years. Then Japanese came back. So in January, we heard the shelling at Lagan Gulf. At that time, it was really tense. And that's what they said. What's it, Ingram? Is that
Ingraham.
Ingram?
Ingraham.
One of the ships there. Then finally, the Americans made the landing. At that time, we didn't know what was going on until one of the guys stole a radio from Jeff's shack. Then we knew all about the division's landing. So all the troops start moving this way except towards our camp. They knew on the island of Palawan, there's 137 of our boys was told go into tunnels and ditches, get away from the air raid. Actually, they were hitting Mindoro. No sooner they end up in the tunnel ditches, Japanese threw gasoline, hand grenades, and they massacred 137 of our boys. Then on January 30th, the Rangers hit our camp. What a sight was. We couldn't believe it. Does anybody here seen the picture, the big raid?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, it was funny though, but it was the pictures made from Hamside's books, and Hamside took that from my book. That one scene showed where the Americans all out in the field, lights on. That getaway for the Japanese come and kill us all. Well, actually what happened, we snuck through the fence, across the stream, then we hit the highway. That's it, half truth, half, way Hollywood, they right away, my biggest concern was my wife and 3 daughters. When I went into Bataan, Japanese came to Manila, they picked all the American civilians and put them in a concentration camp. For 3 years, I don't know whether my wife was living or dead. Finally, I got to see her. Then all the American troops would start being sent home. I told Colonel Smith, said, Colonel, I've been here many years before these guys. What happened? He said, I don't know. Nothing from headquarters on you. So a couple days later, he said, I got a staff car to take you to Manila. Oh, big deal. Usually they tell the GI, get behind on the back of the truck. I'm riding in the staff car. Anyway, I ride in Manila. The whack captain said, what's on your mind, Sergeant? I said, I'm supposed to see the colonel. She said, for what? I said, I don't know. They told me. She said, what the hell is the army coming to? Anyway, I was led into the room there, and I seen Colonel Darling. Last time I seen him, he was a lieutenant, I was a colonel. He's in charge of the recovery section. MacArthur asked Colonel Darling, he said, I want one man. Can't be no outsider. It has to be one man who's on a death march. We want him to stay back and recover all the bodies. At that time, I didn't know that. See, but Colonel Darling reported that MacArthur said, I got your man. So a week later, John MacArthur sent me, and there I stood in front of the great general, the man we called Dugout Doug. I says, I don't want no publicity if I stay. He said, there'll be none. But before I knew it, it appeared in all the papers. Well, my mission was